Good morning, North America. Welcome to Church Talk TV. Lively talk about life, church, and church life. I'm your co-host, Dr. Bill Tenney-Britton, and I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Dr. Kris Tenney-Britton, and we're broadcasting from our studio in Columbia, Missouri, the heartland of America. Say good morning, Kris.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Church Talk TV.
Kris and Bill Tenney-Britton here today to talk about the holiday season, because it's right upon us. It is crept up. Last week was Thanksgiving, and this is 2023, which means that Advent is next week. We have a whole extra week of decorations and
I
stuff.
know. I didn't know what to do. I told my class, hey, don't want you to do any work after like noon on Wednesday because you've got Thanksgiving. I think it was noon on Tuesday. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want you. And Advent starts on Sunday. And and then I was
They're going,
for this.
No.
I know. I talked to one of my clients Tuesday morning, and they're going, "What? Advent starts on Sunday?" I'm like, "It doesn't." He grabs his counter. I said, "Oh, sorry." So you've got,
but it is the holiday season.
You've got a little bit. Yeah,
has been since August, according to Walmart.
Yeah, and Santa arrived at Macy's. And,
there we are.
Yeah, and Hallmark started. I believe it was on the 20th
of July
of October. Anyways, moving right along. It is the most wonderful time of the year.
It happens to be also culturally the most spiritual time of the year. This is an opportunity for the church to really capitalize on this season, to be able to reach into the unchurched sector of your community. In fact, it's the best time. A lot of churches think, well, it's Easter. Easter is about chocolate and Easter eggs. It is not about the resurrection or whatever. It's not something that, people don't put up, crosses and Golgothas on their mantles. They put Easter baskets and that kind of stuff up there. But during Christmas, everything culturally is Christmas.
Well, I've said for years that Christmas is Jesus's gift to the church. You want to keep a sense of tradition. You don't really want to play with anything. If you keep what works for them. I mean, really, you can introduce something here or there, but don't go changing all kinds of stuff, and particularly not traditions, because you really want to, this is this opportunity to stir something deep in your heart. There is the whole spiritual sense of it, and then you can try with some new and different things. Once you get through all of this and into the new year, people will be on a high. But not only is it in that respect Jesus's gift to the church, I also find it to be this, and I'm playing on this whole or building on this whole thought of it being a spiritual time. It's like the spiritual just radiates into our culture. And so there's just this openness. It's not even a curiosity, I think. It's just this openness in the air and in the spirit that we can draw on.
Even the most hardened anti-church, anti-Christian person understands deep down that Christmas is about the birth of a baby.
Yeah,
now,
Jesus.
However you want to name or not name that baby, but how you want to cast that baby as a great prophet or whatever, but it's this spiritual sense that's way beyond what just the birth of a kid. It's the birth of someone very special. And like I say, even the most hardened are aware of that. It's a part of the whole spirituality. If you want to talk about a thin place, to borrow on
there we go.
It's the thinnest place of the year.
Right.
Because everyone plays on this spirituality piece. I mean, from the top to the bottom. Hallmark they have the Christmas carols and they go to church. There's a lot of church stuff in the Hallmark bits.
And don't
Christmas
forget the Great American Christmas. Great American Channel.
Yeah, there's more and more. There's a new one every day, just about. Anyway, because I know, because from Thanksgiving to Christmas Day, I have to watch. I mean, I get to watch a Hallmark kind style.
And we've been taping them. We've been taping them since October 20th. I missed
one. So anyway.
Okay, anyway, stop dissing on Hallmark and GAC.
No, I'm not dissing on either of them.
Okay.
I'm dissing on I've been getting to watch them all. Right. Anyway, so there's this great spiritual time the church gets to build on, and there is a spiritual yearning and curiosity that the culture has. But it's not just the most spiritual time of the year; it's also the most nostalgic time of the year. I mean, there's no other time that's more nostalgic than this.
It's true.
The good old summertime doesn't even hold a candle. Lemonade, fried chicken, watermelon, whatever your 4th of July kind of stuff is. It just pales in comparison to the nostalgia that Christmas calls out to people. I mean, the whole world is filled with Christmas images that scream nostalgia.
Well, and I want to say most people, not all people,
right?
But I'm willing to say most people have Christmas memories, and many, some of them are not good memories.
Sure.
I just have to.
I want to acknowledge
we've all
had a lousy Christmas.
Well, we have,
there are
and
people
I mean,
who have lost loved ones during,
right?
And
exactly.
Whatnot.
So
Blue Christmases are very important.
They are very, very important, and a lot of that goes back to children. I still remember the story of a woman long since passed who talked about waiting at the window, waiting for her father, her estranged father, to come and bring her the baby doll he had promised to her. So I mean, there's a lot of crap out there, but there have been redeeming Christmases out of that. And if you're one of those who carries that deep stuff, just keep open to the possibility of some redemption from that you'll see some differences if you'll be open to that. Or anyways, that's a whole other conversation. I do want to say, though, that many people, and I am willing to go to most, have some kind of a Christmas tradition within their family. I don't think I'm the only one who carries these Christmas traditions. I still remember the Thanksgiving evening, and my parents cleaned off the shelves where certain items were, displayed to then be dusted and to put batting down so that then the angel choirs could be placed up there and different collectibles. And the tree went up and the certain kind of light. And now we have those ornaments, and those ornaments will go to our children, so it's all part of that. The
those
decorating.
That I don't drop and break.
It's a great excuse for not helping decorate the tree.
But I want to go. I mean, there's the nostalgia of your own home. But it goes beyond just the nostalgia of what you've actually experienced, because the Christmas images that you see on marketing and all the rest, that screams nostalgia. The national marketing right across the board, it hypes nostalgia.
Right.
This desire for this picturesque Norman Rockwellian kind of Christmas.
Right.
And of course, Hallmark and GAC and
that,
Lifetime and all the rest of those shows.
All over TV. But
that's right.
Like John Travolta, and there's the new commercial this year. Is it Citicorp? It's one of the, or MasterCard. Capital One.
Right.
Okay, and John Travolta for the second year now in a row, but Samuel L. Jackson isn't in this year's commercial, is dressed up like Santa, so you get the ho, 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 you can hear John in there, but then you can hear Santa in there as well. I mean, we're just seeing it.
Right.
You've got the Budweiser Clydesdales and everything.
All of this nostalgia is being foisted upon us through marketing, left, right, and center.
Santa's at the mall.
A promotion of nostalgia, even if you haven't experienced that nostalgia. So the cool thing is that by and large, the church is a part of that nostalgic movement.
I like that.
The church is a part of that. It is included even in secularism. You see images of churches and choirs and kids dressed up in the nativity sets and whatnot, that it's not just a religious nostalgia. It brings and allows the spirituality to come in and through, and it permeates everything. And if the church really has an opportunity, a great opportunity to capitalize on that, to leverage it for life transformation of those who have yet to be transformed.
Yeah, as you're talking this way, I think those of you who've known us, followed us for any amount of time, 5 years ago, I got to be Santa's chief elf at the Santa Claus set, the photography set at our local mall. And I just hold on to this, the manager of the mall said to me, he said, Kris, we don't care if you all make money or not. The reality is we don't get much from you. You don't pay us, give us much money, but our retailers are the ones who really pay off because, they're coming for that feeling, that sense to see
nostalgia.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Sit on Santa's lap.
Exactly. And
ho, ho, ho.
Right. But no. We had probably the best Santa ever in the world. We just said we'll never see. Shout out to Brian Hansenmuller. We'll never. Brian's got Santa in the world, no matter where.
Right. He should be the nicest Santa. Anyway.
There he is.
All right,
okay. All right. But anyways, I'm not saying to do Santa at church.
No,
I mean, you could, but I'm not saying that. But it does really play off of one more reason people will come to church, right?
Because of the whole nostalgic piece.
Right.
The church is a part of that.
Right. And you've got Santa at the mall and everything else. So what do people associate with church? Nativity scenes, creches. I'm just thinking about these different pieces that we as churches are able to build on.
Let's start with the big three. Carols. People want to sing Christmas carols.
They're everywhere. We sing them in the... we were in Walmart the other day and the music's playing and how many people were singing in the store, right? How many?
Yeah, it's carols. Now, there's Christmas songs too. But there's the carols, the religious carols are still, they're getting airplay. People know them. They may not know all the words and et cetera, but they've heard them. They're moderately familiar with them. They understand that caroling is yes, there's a door-to-door caroling, but they all understand that it comes with this spiritual piece that comes from the church. So caroling is a part of that nostalgic movement.
Yeah.
The nativity programs that the kids put on.
Oh, yeah.
The
pageants.
The pageants, thank you. I couldn't remember that
Christmas
word.
pageants.
Christmas pageants, where the kids practice forever.
High attendance Sundays.
That's right. Because all the parents bring their kids and their grandkids come to watch and all the rest. And there's ways of doing that don't take as much energy as they used to. Now, we'll talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, but everyone, there's this, again, Peanuts and Charlie Brown, and that's, can someone tell me what Christmas is all about?
Yeah, we used to do school pageants. That's what that was.
Right. So, all of that is a part of this draw, this nostalgia. And of course, there's this general theme, this desire to return to a simpler time, even for those of us who never had a simpler time.
Right, yeah.
But, there's this, again, it goes back to the Norman Rockwell pictures and the Currier and Ives pictures and the Christmas
Ideal
cards.
Magazine. I don't know if they still make Ideal Magazine, but I've got these. You can find them, IDEAL, Ideal Magazines. They go back decades, and they've got poems. They had them for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all this. And I still have them.
They were the ideal Christmas or ideal holiday season.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so we do need to move on here and talk about how we can take all of that and deliver what's really an impactful, moving, spiritually transforming, if you will. Transformative Christmas Eve experience.
That's right. And we're talking specifically about Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve is still generally the politically correct worship service that even an unchurched or never church person can attend. If you're a Christian and you're at your office, you say something about going to Christmas Eve service, instead of people looking at you like, why would you do that? You may actually get a, really?
Where?
What's that like? When? What time?
Yeah, where?
Can I go?
Yeah.
There's still a sense where it's politically correct. It's certainly not politically frowned on to go to church on Christmas Eve.
I have to say this. When you say, and please do, hey, I'm going to Christmas Eve, or I can't wait, that's even better. I can't wait to say it to a coworker, like you say, a coworker, a friend, a family member. And it's like, I'm really excited. What are you doing for Christmas Eve? Wow. And if they ask you about that, that's your perfect opportunity to say, hey, come with me. Will you come with me? And just invite them to come. Oh, my family's going to be, wow, we love families. Come with my family. Stuff like that. Listen for that open door. Extend the invitation.
It's called an opportunity.
Okay,
and take,
be courageous.
That's right. All right, so we want to talk about how to take your Christmas Eve service and make it more than what it is, where tradition meets some innovation, but in a nostalgic way, in a way in which your church, your Christmas Eve service can connect spiritually and with a hint of nostalgia, but by creating if you will, an event that will put your church on the map. And I know of a couple of churches that have done this. or done portions of this. And those churches that repeat the process year after year, their reputation begins to skyrocket in the community. Now, you need to hear up front that to roll it all out, and there's a link down below to get the Christmas Eve Dream Service. It's a planning book that walks you through this and a whole lot more than what we're going to tell you. But it can walk you through, if you do it all, it's a lot of work. It's a lot. But and there's going to be some work regardless. Yeah. But your Christmas Eve service is work regardless. So you might as well put some work into it and create an event that will be memorable and transformative. Yeah. And so we want to share some ways, some parts of that will be helpful for you in your planning.
So you're going to hear us start right now. I just want to get it up there and out of the way that you hear this from us over and over again. You got to get the people's contact information. Absolutely. Right? So,
and we don't do that on Christmas Eve. No, we're afraid to do it. It's like, contact cards. There's an easier way to do it.
There is. So take pictures when people come. And you want to make sure that you have
photographs, photograph at the manger. We used to do that. Yeah. We had the nativity scene and costume pieces, that you would use for pageants. And the families would dress up and we'd take pictures.
Yep. And I know some artistic people who did cutouts of like Linus and Lucy and that bit, right?
Looking through the holes?
Yeah, looking through the holes, And this can be small, it can be bigger. This is the kind of thing that you can build on. And even the smallest of churches can do this. So anyways, you want to get that contact information. To me, that's the easiest way. You take the pictures and then you're going to follow up. You need their email to be able to send it.
There's another way. There's another way that it takes actually less work per se, and that is to have a really nice Christmas door prize.
Oh, yeah.
A big basket of whatever,
a Christmas tree.
Antacids to deliver this the day after Christmas. You're not going to deliver it that night. It's not. You have to be present to win.
Day.
In fact, that's right. In fact, you don't want anyone present to win because you want to get that contact information from everybody and say, and you have it displayed nicely. Door prize. Just leave your contact information, and if you win, we will contact you, and then make sure someone outside the church wins it. Right. That's just how it should be. And then you deliver it. Someone delivers it the day after Christmas. But you'll get all that contact information. And I can tell you, one of my pastors did contact information for 4th of July, and just 2 weeks ago, he was sharing he's still using that list and is still seeing new people because they are milking that list. This is an incredible time to get that contact information from your community.
Okay, so let's keep going. Yeah, so we want to build on how to help communicate the message. All right, and whatever you do, you've got to have a sermon in here. I prefer to call them sermons. They're a mix between a homily, which is very short, and a sermon. You want to bring that together. But so this does not negate that, and my guess is you want to say more about that. But that. Lessons and carols, right? A lesson in scripture and carols, beautiful.
Absolutely.
Singing songs, hymns, right? Hymns that people recognize. You want to do the Christmas story. Be careful about pulling out from the prophets. A lot of this lessons and carols, if you're going to go back and read prophetic pieces, you've got to give a lot of context to that. If you're reading,
you're better off not doing much.
But so many hundreds of years before a baby was born, a particular baby. You've got to give the context. And like you say, and those tend to be pretty long services, so you don't want to have it really long. Right. And
partly because you want to have a lot more singing than scripturing.
Yes,
you want to tell the story, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Okay? But the people want to sing.
Right.
And a lot of churches, they roll out their choir and their handbells and all the rest.
It's beautiful.
And 80% of the service is performance. No. Not for Christmas Eve. Do that some other time.
Interacting.
This is the opportunity.
The nostalgia. They've been singing in Walmart. They've been practicing. They're ready to go.
And you don't have to sing all the verses. In fact, please don't sing all the verses.
First and last.
First and last, or first and second.
Whatever.
Or first only if they got some of the complicated ones.
Well, look at what the scripture is that you're singing about. Right. You're undergirding, if you will. And if once in royal David city, then just sing the verse about that. But I wouldn't suggest you sing that song
because it's not singable.
Well, no. Right. Well, you've got to make sure it's in the right key.
Right. And it doesn't have a great tune, let's be fair.
No. So, so there you go.
And by the way, you don't have to wait until Christmas Day to sing Joy to the World. You can sing that now. It's Joy to the World. The Lord has come. It's not He's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. He's already here. I know that the lectionary says otherwise. the lectionary is wrong. He came about 2,000 years ago. Get over it.
He's here.
Yeah, that's right. Sing Joy to the World. It's one of the greatest songs going. Anyway.
Well, and don't stop singing. I need to say it too. Don't stop singing Christmas carols on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day if you have a Christmas Day service. I mean, Christmastide lasts until January 6th, so you can keep singing them. But one of the most stirring experiences I had was in a staff meeting at Overlake Christian Church now many years ago, and the senior pastor stood up, and it was a staff meeting, but there are all bunches of us that from lots of different churches. And Rick, I don't remember his last name right now, stood up and said, "Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him." And we all just joined in. And this is like in the spring or summer, but you know what? It was time for worship, and we were there to adore him. Right. Keep it going. Keep it going.
So lessons in scriptures and carols, but don't drag it out so long that becomes the only part of the service.
That's right.
And you get a 5-minute sermon. Your sermon, Pastor, is incredibly important because here's a group of people that you have an opportunity, if you will, a captive audience, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity to not just show off your sermon prowess, but also to solve a problem. Solve one of the problems that your target audience, your avatar, the people you're trying to reach, the people who are probably sitting there in the audience who are unchurched, solve one of their major holiday problems. Maybe they've overspent, and that's the biggest problem they're facing, or they're having problems with family, or whatever. Pick a problem. Use the scriptures that apply to that, because every problem that we have is solvable through New Testament scripture. It's there, and
with the birth of a baby,
and the birth of a baby, and again, it's a Herman, and it needs to have a call to action, and part of that call to action can be a preview of what you're starting in January, the new year, that solves their most pressing problem. The problem that that they're struggling with the most.
Right.
And it's not whether the Trinity exists or whether, it's not about Epiphany and Jesus or Jesus showing up at the temple. It's a problem they're facing. A 3-part sermon series on that may be enough if you're solving their real problems, their marriages, their finances, whatever.
Family.
They may show up, but they won't show up if they don't get invited.
Okay, so I have 2 pieces to say about that. To build right now on what you were saying. I'm thinking, it crossed my mind for the first time in how many years, what if in a way, our Christmas Eve service was part 1 of the series we're going to be picking up, right? Yep. We're going to continue this discussion. I'm going to be saying more with this that first Sunday after whatever day that is, right? New Year's Eve, I guess it would be Thursday, whatever. Anyways, so we're gonna be talking more, or I'm gonna be sharing about that week. So it's kind of this preview. The other thing is, if you are not a good preacher, and this is not whether or not you fancy yourself a good preacher, work really hard on this message. Make it detailed. Picture who it is that you're preaching to. And so that avatar, here we go again. Who is it that you all are trying to reach?
And have the ability to reach.
And have the ability. It's realistic. If you could pick the person who is coming to your Christmas Eve service, not who's a member of the church or was a member of the church, who would that person be?
And then write that sermon for them.
To them. Yeah. And don't get preachy about it. Talk to them.
It's a conversation.
That's right. Okay. But don't pontificate at all.
All right. So lessons in scripture and carols, okay? It's a sermon that goes along with us. Now, and we get the contact information. Now, I want to divert a little bit and start talking a little bit about the innovation part, okay? Yeah. Often, to be fair, these worship services in lesson and carols are formal.
Very.
And the last thing they are is kid-friendly.
Yeah.
These kids are bored out of their skulls, and if it's not a family experience that the whole family can enjoy, it becomes kind of a problem for the family. And so there's some things you can do about that. And we talk about, when we talk about this, they're having an experience, the whole family is having an experience from parking lot to their front doorstep on Christmas Eve. Now, that's if you're doing the whole package, but that's where it starts. It starts in the parking lot with some interactivity. One of the things that we've seen done and recommend is having the Victorian carols, get a trio or a quartet, get them dressed up with the old-timey dresses and suits and all whatever, tall hats, or whatever you
Make sure
need.
they know how to sing.
Right. And they're in the parking lot singing while people arrive, Christmas caroling while people arrive.
Right.
So that's one, okay? Just begin the experience. Then,
but it could be wise men or shepherds or whatever that are out there singing. I mean, angels. Because I always think when we talk about this, I always think about how difficult it is to come up with those kind of costumes. But you could have shepherds walking into that, like they're going towards towards the nativity in the sanctuary or the worship center.
Right.
Okay, good.
Exactly. All right. Okay. So it starts from parking lot and goes all the way through. Yeah. So as they come in, one of the things you have is we've seen hot cocoa stations,
right,
and cookie stations where they're having. Of course, you got to hype up the kids, but that's okay. And the hot cocoa, and they got little sprinkles that go in and candy canes and all that. And an ornament building station for the kids to build Christmas ornaments, and the family can come together, right?
Oriental trading,
they don't
get
exist
lots
anymore.
And cheese. Yes, they do. I was just up on their website.
Really, they're back?
I guess I was just up on their website.
Interesting. Well, they went under and they came back. Good. About a year ago.
I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Cross my heart, because we tried to order. It's like
try Oriental trading.
Yeah, do her thing. Don't go to my website. Go to her website, because apparently hers got it still. Anyway, there's all sorts of things you can do there to make it kid friendly.
Right.
The other thing is I love this because you've done this. Is the impromptu Christmas pageant.
Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, I still have costumes and things in my one box up here that I haven't had an opportunity to use in a long time. Anyways, again, Oriental trading or lots of other different places.
Or a towel and
whatever it takes. Yeah, but I have like little halo things. Right. We've got animal noses, angel wings, even staffs. We got staffs from somewhere. Anyways, you have all of these different accoutrements, and when people come in, you ask them, "Would you like to be, would you like to be a shepherd? Would you like to be a sheep?"
Generally, working talking with the kids, not the
adults. But what we
much.
do with adults, and I remember being in a very small church where they didn't have many kids, so we dressed adults up.
Right.
We had adult animals. In fact, that one year, all the adults were dressed up. Anyways, but then you tell the Christmas story, and as you do, different pieces appear.
And the sheep said, they say kids, whatever.
Right, exactly. And they can crawl around. I mean, that's the most beautiful. Right. When I saw this done the first time, it was so beautiful because the sheep, you try to get the kids up there for the pageant and they're everywhere. So you just have them. And then we
let them go everywhere. It's okay.
Yeah, we realized it was okay to have new people there. So you would I would recommend that you do some practicing. You want to use somebody in your congregation. It could be a regularly returning guest that you can rely on. You use someone to be Mary and Joseph. You need somebody kind of like to lead the shepherds. And it's okay if you have 10 shepherds or one shepherd, but you want to do that, and you're asking, anybody can be an angel and anybody can be an animal. Right? Exactly.
Okay. So you put that together,
so much fun.
And it is fun. It's short, and it lets the kids get some energy out.
Lots of pictures.
It's exactly right. Invite the families to come take pictures and stuff. It creates this experience. Okay. That's really, there's so much more that we can say.
Oh my gosh,
and again,
we are so beyond that.
The download is right down there in the description. You can download that, the Christmas Eve dream, and you can put it together. It is an incredible opportunity.
Don't miss
it. Create an experiential, transformational, because you're going to solve a problem. That makes it transformational. You're going to create this nostalgic and spiritual opportunity that it is everything that is good and wonderful about the church and about Christmas.
You've got 3.5 weeks. Okay, so get it together. You can do this. Right. Don't do it on your own. Meet up with your leadership team, or at least get with your Christian ed people, your worship people, whoever. Make it happen. Do it for Jesus.
There we are. We're out of time. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.